I'm going to make a guess about you. Yes, you. I don't know you, of course, but my guess will be 100% accurate and true. Are you ready? Okay, here's my guess. You're watching this video and hearing it in English. Okay, now, hang with me. You see the clear colors on your screen, and if you're using captions, you see the letters as they appear on the bottom of your screen. Now, this all seems incredibly obvious, doesn't it? But it's not so obvious to your computer. Your computer knows every color, every letter, every number as just two numbers. That's right. Everything you see, everything you hear, communicate, and use through your computer is represented by just two numbers. And today we're going to learn to speak computer. Computer language is very much different from our own. See, while we use the 26 letters of the English alphabet, computers use just two numbers. Look at the sentence on the bottom of your screen. It's a simple, short sentence, right? Well, this is how your computer sees that same sentence. Quickly, this becomes complex and impossible to read. How are computers the powerful machines we know them to be with such gibberish? Well, to answer that question, we're going to travel back to the 17th century. A German mathematician by the name of Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz developed a base 2 numbering system in 1679. He published his findings in 1703 in his article titled Explanation of Binary Arithmetic, which uses only characters 0 and 1 with remarks about its utility and the meaning it gives to the ancient Chinese figures of Fuxi. Try saying that title 10 times fast. See, our regular numbering system that we all know and love and probably use daily is base 10, meaning essentially that it uses 10 digits, 0 through 9. But Gottfried developed an entirely new numbering system with base 2, meaning it used only two numbers, 0 and 1. With this new numbering system, Gottfried avoided nearly all multiplication tables. I knew multiplication wasn't very important. And he developed simple rules for calculation. His new numbering system was called binary because it used just two numbers. Before we discover how computers use these two numbers, let's review how this numbering system works by looking at a few simple problems. For that, we need a classroom. Each number is represented by a series of zeros and ones. Now, of course, a 0 is represented by 0, and 1 represents 1. So in binary, when you see a 0, it's 0. When you see a 1, it's 1. But clearly, we run into some problems when we get into larger numbers, even just 2 or any number larger than that. So let's review how base 2 numbering works. Well, the first thing you have to remember is each number doubles in the binary system. So as you can see, 2 doubles into 4, which doubles into 8, which doubles into 16, which doubles into 32, 64, 128, and on it goes. Now, you might recognize some of these numbers from common storage systems, maybe on your iPhone. Apple sells a 64 gigabyte and a 128 gigabyte iPhone. That's because these are using binary number systems. Or, written another way, it could be 2 raised to the 0, 2 raised to the 1, 2 raised to the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on. Now, in this bottom example, we see that the base remains 2, hence base 2. But the power each 2 is raised increases by 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. This forms the base of the binary numbering system. Now let's explore how to represent a number in binary. Whenever I convert a decimal base 10 number, those are the numbers, remember, that we use all the time. 10, 11, 100, 13, those are decimal numbers. When I convert a decimal number into binary, I like to start with a simple table. So I'm going to go ahead and write the simple table on my chalkboard, and then we're going to show you how to convert a decimal number into binary. Alright, now that we have our table numbered 1 to 128, each value doubles, 2, 4, 8, 16, and so on. We're going to convert the number 55 into binary. It's going to be represented with those ones and zeros, okay? So we're going to represent this number using binary, converting it from decimal form to binary. So we're going to start by finding the biggest number in our table that can fit in 55. Clearly 55 minus 128 doesn't work. 55 minus 64, that doesn't work either. But we can subtract 32 from 55. So we're going to do that. So I'm going to write 32 down here. So we've got 23. Since it fit in there, we're going to put a 1 under 32. All right, so now we just do it again. Find the biggest number. Well, 16, that does fit into 23. So we're gonna write 16 down here. 13 minus 6 equals 7, so we have a 7. We're gonna put a 1 there as well. 8 doesn't fit into 7, so we're going to put a 0 there, okay? But 4 does fit in, so we're going to go 7 minus 4, that equals 3. So we're going to put a 1 under the 4. 2 fits into 3, 3 minus 2 equals 1. We're going to put a 1 there, and then 1 minus 1 equals 1. And then we're just going to put zeros everywhere else. So this is our binary number. Our binary number for 55 is 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1. That is our binary number. To computers, that is the number 55. So we can always convert numbers back to the decimal form by plugging them into our table, and then we're just going to see where they line up. So we're going to do 32 plus 16 plus 4 plus 2 plus 1, which equals 55. As you can see, converting decimal numbers into binary is not difficult at all, especially if we use this simple table. So that's our first number, 55. Now let's consider a binary math problem. I'm just going to start by erasing all this stuff down here. We're going to leave our table right where it is because that'll help us in the future, but I will erase that binary number. So now let's consider a very simple addition. We're going to add 10 to 55. So of course we just figured out that 55 in binary is 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1. And 10 is 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. So this is our math problem. 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1 plus 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. It's going to be 55 plus 10. It's as simple as that. We're just going to add these together. So 1 plus 0 is 1. And uh-oh, I got a problem here. 1 plus 1. Of course, that's 2. But there is no 2 in binary. I mean, there's 2, but there's no 2 that we can draw. Well, the number 2 in binary is 1, 0. So we're just going to do what we normally do. We're going to put a 0 here, carry the 1. 1 plus 1 again, 0. So our new number here is 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. All right, so how do we know our answer? Well, that's why I left the table there. We're going to plug this number into our table and check and see if it's correct. So we've got 0, 1. So then we just add up the columns that have 1s in them. So we got 64, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, plus equals 65. And of course we know that 55 plus 10 equals 65. So that's binary with addition. Now subtraction, of course, would be the opposite. We would line out our numbers and then simply subtract like we always would. If you guys are interested in seeing me do more binary arithmetic and struggling through on this math that is not my forte, let me know down in the comments down below. Should I try some multiplication or division? Maybe some subtraction. So that's binary in a nutshell. But why do computers use it? Why are computers limited to just these zeros and ones? It really goes back to the fundamental nature of a computer. Fundamentally, at their core, computers are really just simple, complex, fancy switches. They control electricity. So yes, when you send that email, you're not really sending letters. You're sending pulses of electricity that the computer knows how to read. And binary is a way to represent that. We'll explore this concept in future videos, so make sure you're subscribed and hit that bell icon so that you never miss a video. Now think of a light switch. When you walk into your house, you probably flip a switch on to turn on a light. That switch has two states, on or off. When you turn it on, electricity flows through the switch to the bulb, illuminating the room. When you turn the switch off, electricity stops flowing. The bulb turns off and is no longer lit. But that's how a computer works. Inside a computer are thousands and even billions of tiny, tiny little switches called transistors. These transistors are on or off in your computer. Going back to that light switch, there's no on-ish or off-ish position or anything in the middle. It's on or it's off. That's the same that's true of a transistor. Those transistors in your computer are on or off. So binary numbers are used to represent those electrical pulses on those switches in your computer. So when we see a number like 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, that's telling those switches to be on or off. When we see a 0, that switch is off. When we see a 1, that switch is on. So in this example, the switch would be off, on, off, 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 on. Now it may be kind of confusing to think about this because you can't turn a switch off that's already off. That just doesn't work. But a computer works on cycles. We're just going to examine one transistor for this example. We got a 0. That transistor is turned off. Then it turns on. Then it's off for 5 cycles. Then it's on for 1 cycle. That's how those cycles work. So the computer knows if 5 cycles go by and it's off, then that's 5 zeros. Okay, so computers use the on-off nature of binary for literally everything. Like I mentioned at the start of the video, computers use colors, sounds, symbols, letters, and so much more to be our powerful tools that we use today. How can that be represented through binary? Well, that exact question was posed by early computer scientists when computers started to be used for more than just math. Initially, all computers were big, fat calculators. But then they started to want to show colors on the screen or do word processing. Well, how did we represent numbers then? Some smart scientists got together and they developed various codes to convert letters and other symbols into binary. One of them, and this isn't real popular today, but we're going to use it as an example, was ASCII, A-S-C-I-I, which stood for the American Standard Code for Information Interchange. ASCII had a number of codes that could be assigned to like English letters, and then those codes were converted into binary. For example, the letter A in the ASCII system is code 65. Well, now that's a number. We can convert a number into binary. So the letter A in binary is 01000001, 65. So let's look at how ASCII could have been used to represent the word hello on a computer in binary. For simplicity, we're going to just use uppercase letters. But we're going to convert this word, hello, into binary. H was 72 in its ASCII code. E was 69. L was 76. And O was 79. And we could go through and convert each of these into binary using that table, but I'm just going to look at my notes this time, but just understand that we could do that. All right, so now we just got to assemble these. The word hello in binary is 010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100010001000100 us to use. So that's where our operating systems like Windows and other programming languages like Java come into play. We'll talk about programming languages later, but essentially a programming language is kind of an in-between. A computer can convert it into binary after the human programmer is able to code it. So humans can read it and computers can read it into binary, of course. Now let's just quickly review some binary terms. In binary, I mentioned earlier that each letter number is a series of 8 digits. So for example, we have 65 written here, which was 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. Now, if you can see, this is 8 digits long, okay? So we call each of those a byte. That's what those 8 characters are. That could be a letter, a number, maybe something else. And each of these, so like this 0 in here, we call that a bit. And that stands for binary digit. Binary is used to represent the storage on our computers. I'm sure you've bought an iPhone and it said it's got 64 gigabytes of storage. Well, what does that mean? Well, let's think in terms of these bytes. 1 gigabyte on your phone or your laptop or anything is 1 billion bytes. And about sure you know where I'm going with this, and about 8 billion bits. So when you get a 128 gig iPhone, that is 8 billion times 128. That's a lot of bits. In 1703, when Gottfried Leibniz published his article on binary arithmetic, he never could have dreamed of its use. His binary ones and zeros have literally become the language of our world, even if none of us speak it, use it, or even know it. Those binary numbers power every computing device in our world, from our simple smartwatches to our complex smart refrigerators, cars, laptops, TVs, and more. Binary is the language that is always being used around us and powers our lives. lives every single day. Therefore, binary arithmetic is the 9th major milestone in the history of computing. And that's binary, the language of computers, and really the language of our world. Alright, if you liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Let me know in the comments down below if I should attempt any more binary arithmetic, perhaps some multiplication and division. Let me know in the comments down below. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss another video. If you are subscribed, consider sharing your favorite video on social media. And speaking of social media, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I encourage you to read today's blog on Medium, link down below. Alright guys, if you're interested in exploring the history of computing further, click over here. And if you're interested in exploring technology in general, click over here. I can't wait to join you next week as we explore an astronomical calculation. See you then. Bye.